Yo, what's going on guys, it's me Tomislav and welcome to a new marker video. This is one of two marker videos that I'm producing right now. The next one, the one that is coming after this, I think a week after or so, is more of a tutorial. This one is just a quick overview of how I draw various anime characters with markers. Today we're drawing Charizard. He's probably my most favorite Pokemon. And definitely write in the comments which one is yours, because I would love to draw more Pokemon, but I just don't have any ideas for more. But yeah, as you can see, I always started with a sketch. It's just a random sketchbook and I totally leave time to make it perfect. It's very rough, but still very... it's not perfect, but it's pretty detailed, so I know where things go and usually have many references. This time I only have one. So you can see it on the side, I just picked one image. The whole process, but like the whole thing you will see today, took about 40 minutes I think in total. And I edited it down to I think 15 or 10 minutes. So it's more consumable. Overall guys, I like drawing with markers. The markers are very versatile. For a long time I didn't try them. I was only working with digital, but I think markers were the thing that got me into acrylic painting and stuff, because holding an artwork in your hands that you just did is a very different feeling from finishing a digital artwork. So markers was kind of the thing that got me into traditional art a bit more. And I kind of forgot about markers when I started with acrylic, but lately I've been kind of doing more of it and I'm really enjoying it, so I'm definitely looking for ideas. As I said, there's another video coming out next week, and if you guys want to have an artwork like this on your wall, you can definitely go to my shop right now in the description and order one of these artworks for yourself. I'm officially taking commissions for marker artworks because I want to do more of them. They are fairly cheap. People have been telling me that I should bump up the prices, but I limited it to only 10 artworks. And as soon as I have more time, I will open up for 10 more, I think. But yeah, you should totally check it out if you want to see any character or yourself as any character or just yourself as a portrait artwork. You can definitely check out my shop for that. The link is in the description. But as you can see, I'm currently putting down my light table. This is very cheap. I think I found it for €5. It's about $5 and it helps me a lot because I like to keep the original sketch, and this way I also don't have to erase anything. So the art, so as you can see, I'm drawing on top of a new piece of paper which is in my marker book, my marker sketchbook or how you would call it. The book is fairly pretty because I don't have any eraser lines or pencil marks. It's just line work and Copics or markers. I use a mix of cheap Chinese markers which I got off Wish for like, I don't know, €20 for a whole box of 100 markers. And I also use Copics from here and there, but I don't think there were any Copics included in this artwork. And yeah, that's kind of my process. Usually I like to do a little bit thinner outlines, but this time it's fairly thick because I only had about half an hour, even though I stretched it, and I think in the end it took about 40 minutes, I think, in the end to finish the whole artwork. It's a bit more than I thought, but I generally am quite happy with the result of this, and I hope you are too. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to your comments, because I want to do more Copic or marker art. And Pokemon would be cool, but it could be any artwork, it could be any anime character or even comic book character. If you stick to the end, you can see all the other artworks that are in this sketchbook. And there's Spider-Man, there's a ton of Dragon Ball, Marvel. I don't know guys, you will see there's even Carnage I think is in there, but you will see it at the end if you stick around. Right now you can see that I'm adding details with black. I often like to do that at the end when I'm done with markers, but this was just thick lines and I wanted some thinner lines in there to give it a bit more detail before I started with markers, and that's why I did that. Usually this step would be at the end, but you will see that in the next video. And And yeah, I'm putting a piece below the artwork, like a piece of paper, so that way I don't bleed through. Usually this paper is pretty thick and it doesn't, but when you get crazy with blending, it still kind of bleeds through. So this is why I put a piece of paper between every artwork that I do, just in case, to not ruin the sketchbook. I started with the flames. The flames are kind of fail because I didn't want black outlines, but somehow I got in the flow, and when I drew, I forgot that flames were supposed to be, like I wanted to do white outlines, but in the end I think still looked pretty cool with black outlines and I don't regret it. Now I'm putting a rim light, a blue rim light, but in the video I know it looks kind of white grayish, and it definitely didn't turn out as blue as I wanted it to, because I think it's because of the cheap markers. You can see that one just broke apart in half. I put it together and finished coloring the rim light. But then I went in and started with a mid-orange color, like the local color for Charizard. Almost said the German word, the German name for him, which is Glurak, by the way. But yeah, this is just local color, like his color that you would find on him, usually, I think, if he was a real thing. But I left some white spaces because it's always easier to leave white spaces open than to fix them afterwards with markers. You cannot make anything brighter anymore, you can just go darker. And now I'm adding in darker shadows, which are more reddish. I think this is even a very, very red tone, like a very red-orange tone. And it worked out great in the end. The image looked so vibrant in the end, and this worked out. I usually like to take very saturated shadow colors. Like here it's a very saturated one. And sometimes if it's too saturated, I will take a gray marker. I think a cool gray or some, I don't know how it's called. It's just a gray marker, really. I don't really pick and choose, but often I like to take the ones that are more bluish. And with that I can turn it down a little bit and it's less saturated. I think I will even do it here because it saves you a lot of time. Yeah, I'm already at the wings. The wings, I also started with the brighter color, then went darker, and in the end I will add some blending. Yeah, I blended between those two. And the second wing, and then there's only the belly left. With Pokemon you have so much luck because they usually don't have so many colors, especially the first generation Pokemon. And that's also why I love them. They're so simple, but yet so cool. The design is very cool. Some of the newer Pokemons, you could argue that the design is very weak compared to the first ones. It's just too much, in my opinion, sometimes. I don't have any examples because I don't know really any of the names, but I played Pokemon... I don't know which one it was. The last one I played on the Switch was Let's Go Pikachu, but I played the one on the 3DS that came out before that with the Alolan stuff, and I didn't really like most of the newer designs there. So I'm a fan of the old school Pokemon. Oh, you can already see that I put in some gray markers on top of areas where I think I could turn down the saturation a little bit. The dark gray, like the darker you go, the more shadows you also add. So they are also used, or I also use them to make a few more shadows. Like some areas could be a bit turned down with saturation, but also a little bit darker. In that case, a gray marker works wonders. This is now where I'm adding the detail that I mentioned before. So I basically are doing the same step again, but I'm just adding more detail, more cross-hatching, more black lines to define the shape a little bit more, but also to not make it so flat. I don't really work flattish, like I don't really like having my artwork looks flat, which you might have noticed with my digital, but I try to also make the traditional artworks with markers look like my digital ones. And now you can see that I'm adding white highlights. This is my favorite step, and I've heard many people say that this is their favorite step because it really brings out the shape. Like this is the finishing touch. After this, the artwork looks so much better. Like it's just crazy how much different the artwork can look when you add some white highlights But you have to make sure you add them in the right spots. Like some people are just making a white everywhere where the black touches color, people add white, which is definitely wrong. White is only where highlights are, like everywhere the light hits directly onto the surface and a 90-degree angle is where it would be the lightest. So this is where I add the white spots, but this is for another tutorial. So if you want another tutorial where I talk specifically about shading and where lights go and where dark should be, then definitely leave a comment below, guys. I'm trying to get more back into YouTube. I neglected this channel for a long time because I was too busy with work, but I kind of want to do more videos now and I would appreciate some of your ideas. Yeah, I'm posing next to my artwork, I'm signing it, adding a few more details so I know when I drew this, and then I will quickly flip through it. And I appreciate you guys watching. I think I will let you enjoy this without my beautiful voice over it. And please subscribe and like. I know about 80% of you didn't subscribe, that's what my analytics tell me. But yeah guys, enjoy, thanks for watching, peace.